We'll let you start off with opening statements before we get to our questions and answers. Start with Coach Sims.
Respect.
That's fine. Good afternoon, or good morning, I'm sorry. I'm Terry Sims, head football coach at Bethune-Cookman University. Just excited to be able to have our young men put their talents on a stage such as this. It's great to be able to come to Atlanta to play a football game because we recruit heavily in Atlanta. And for kids to be able to come out and watch us play in person, we're just excited about it. We're excited to bring our university here, all of our fans, our band, obviously, and just give our young men a different experience, because that's what it's all about, you know, the student-athlete experience. And having an opportunity for them to come and play in a game such as this, you know, it's a treat for them, for us, for our fans. So, you know, to ESPN, to the MEAC SWAC Challenge, staff, we appreciate you guys for having us, and we look to put a good show on the field on next Sunday.
I really enjoyed being there, having to be a part of this game. I've had the opportunity to be a part of this game in the past. It's been really a great event. I think it's a great event for young people to be a part of. We're looking forward to bringing the team here and playing a hard-fought game against a really good football team. And just to have it in Atlanta and have it in a place like this is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have a football game. And I can tell you this, our kids are excited about it, our staff is excited about it, and we look forward to playing here on the first.
You guys talked about both previously being here, participating in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. It's been some time for Jackson State, just a couple of years for Bethune-Cookman University. Is there one particular thing, one particular aspect of the game that you guys are looking forward to?
Just playing the game. I mean, if you're a coach or you're a player, you have a competitive edge, and that's what we do. We go out and compete, and that's what we're looking forward to. Matching wins with other staff, putting our athletes against their athletes, and see who comes out on top.
And same here, you know, we got to have an opportunity to open our season against a really good football team, a really athletic football team. It's a great measuring stick for us as a program to have an opportunity to play a team such as Bethune-Cookman. And you know, just the ties that I have to them and people on their staff, and to have an opportunity to coach against Coach Sims is big for us, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Let's start with you, Coach Hendricks. 2018, bit of a roller coaster season for you guys.
Yes.
Fluctuation in the head coaching position that you eventually took over. How would you say you've been able to adjust to that, and how have your guys been able to adjust to you fully being in this role now?
Well, you know, the good thing about being an assistant and taking over is that, you know, it's a little bit different role than the head coach, and so your relationships with the players are a little bit different, you know. And I was blessed to be the coach on the staff that they would come in the office and sit down and talk to, pray with me, you know, when they had a problem. They'd come, somebody died in the family, they'd come to my office. And so I had a relationship with the guys on the football team.
Could you say?
They turned my phone down, you know.
I was trying to record
And just a relationship. And so when I took over, the kids knew me, and I had already built those relationships, and you know, and we've continued those relationships. I still have the same kind of relationship with the kids. My office door is always open. They still pop in, put their heads in, come in just to chop it up with me. And I really like that part of it. You know, just having that one-on-one and that sincere family bond with those guys. So, you know, it's been a really good experience for me so far, and I'm looking forward to being a good experience on the first.
Coach Sims, you guys finished second in the MEAC last season. High expectations coming into the 2019 season. What would you say are a few takeaways from last year?
Honestly, we've been saying this all camp, really all spring. We have to finish. It was no one's fault last year, and we were in second place, but ours. We have to finish games. We had a few games where you go back, and every coach and every player does the exact same thing. You go back and you watch film and you say, okay, we could have done this, we should have done this. But when you look at film and you see that you're playing good football, you're just not finishing in one phase of the game. And I think that's where we are right now. We have to finish each and every game and continue to play 4 quarters until it's over.
Training camp, practice, all underway right now. How would you say the cohesiveness of your team is forming?
I think it's good. You know, we had 8 mid-year guys that came in and they joined us in the spring, and you know, they gelled right with our football team, and we had a number of young guys come in, and we had 4 more transfers that we added right before camp started. And one thing about the guys in our program, it's a family, and they make the guys that come in, they make them aware fast that this is the way we do things. It's not, you know, how did you do it at your place, or we want to try to do it this way. We win football games, and we win football games our way. And I think the new guys, they have come in, that they bought in, and right now I think we're off and running. You know, obviously people say, you know, your defense should be ahead of your offense, but our offense has not, you know, lost any ground. We have, you know, our entire offensive line coming back, you know, with the exception of one guy. So I think, you know, we're moving in the right direction.
Coach Hendricks, the story for you guys was the quarterback transfer, of course, Jalen Jones, coming in from Florida to your program here. You have 4 people potentially for that starting position. Have you made a decision? Have you seen anybody begin to stand out in the crowd?
Well, you'll find out first.
Okay, sounds good. And what about your quarterback, Coach Sims? He was a part of the mix. Williams, he was a part of the mix of those injured. He had a lot of notable injuries last season. Any update on Williams?
He has taken every first team rep since day 1 of camp, and he hadn't slowed down. So we look for him to be the starter when camp ends, and we look for him to be the first guy to run out when we take the field against Jackson State.
Coach Hendricks, you have a lot of versatility in the backfield, wide receiver core, pretty deep. What would you say about your group?
Well, we have some talented guys in those positions. The guys who here, the guys that we added to the position have the transfers have really bolstered what we are. Our backfield was good already. Those guys are returning guys, but we added 2 young guys that are absolutely dynamic, one from Florida and one from Texas who can really play, so we'll be in the mix. I told our offensive coaches the other day, I don't know, how you gonna get everybody the ball? Because we've got a bunch of guys I feel that can play in the game, that can have an impact on the football game for us. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them line up against somebody besides us and see what they do.
Coach Sims, the defense in Jackson State has been a big talk. How do you plan on matching up against those guys, especially with you having a lot of returners on your O-line?
Well, I think, you know, honestly, our offense as a whole, we're looking forward to. I mean, we understand Coach Hendricks and his background, and we have some folks on our staff that know him pretty well. So we're going to be prepared, and I'm excited about it. I don't ever want to go into a football game thinking that we're going to run over anyone and have a cakewalk. That's no fun. You want to have a competitive football game. You want to give the fans something to be excited about, and give the folks that are watching the game on TV. No one wants to really see a blowout. You know, if you're a true football fan, you want to see a competitive game.
How has this been beneficial, or how do you think it'll be beneficial from the recruiting aspect for you guys?
Watching, you know, these 2 teams play on TV, watching them play, like I said earlier, on a stage such as this, you look at the young men now. If you look at the trend in college football now, you have less and less guys that are opted to go to an FBS school and sit on the bench for 2 years or whatever. They'll go to an FCS school where they see they can come in and play right away, and we have a number of those guys on our team right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's saying here, you know, to be in Atlanta and have an opportunity, but a place that we're really trying to open up recruiting ground, and to be in the only game at that time slot is really good for both football teams. It's really good for us that everybody, you know, what are they going to watch? There's no NFL game, there's no college game, so we're the game that's on television. And to have the nation have an opportunity to sit down and watch the kind of football that we play, I think is big for both of us. And you know, it's a great for both programs to have an opportunity to play in this game at this time.
We'd now like to open the floor for questions from the media and the audience.
Hi, Tyler Carr with HBCU Game Day. Coach Hendricks, I respect you won't tell us the starter, but at quarterback. But could you talk about the process when you have returning talent and then you have an immense talent that kind of falls in your lap a little bit? How hard is that process for you?
Well, the thing is, we put together the data every day in practice. You know, the only way to make a decision like this is to let them compete on an even field and record everything that they do. So now, when you name a starter, you have the grades in your hand, and you sit down and say, this is what he graded, this is what you graded. And to do it that way is the only way that I know how to do it, and that's the way we're going about doing this competition. And it's really, and everybody talks about Jalen and Ponder, but the other young kid, Quincy Casey, is really good also. The kid from Memphis is a really good player. And he's graded out well. Matter of fact, he's outgraded them in the scrimmage both. So, you know, to have that competition between those three guys has, I think, been good for our football team. And the great thing about all three of them is that our kids on the team like all of them, and I think will play hard for all of them, anybody that we put out there.
Just as a follow-up, could you see a scenario where more than one quarterback gets action?
That's a possibility.
Hi, Coach. Jalen Thompson, AJC. Piggyback off of that, Jalen Jones, he comes to your program after some things happened at Florida. How's he immersed himself into the system and just really been as a teammate?
Man, he's been amazing. We do a little thing in our meetings at night where a guy gets up and he talks, and they tell him why they love football and why they love their teammates. And Jalen got up, and when he got finished, he basically told his story. And it was some things that he said that night that I didn't even know were going on at that time when we had an opportunity to get him. And I mean, he's really fitting well. The kids love him. He has a dynamic personality, and he's really been good to be around football. He has a leadership gift that I think is outstanding.
I have one more follow-up for you, Coach Sims. You were a graduate of Wayne County High School. You're back in Atlanta. How great was that just to being back here in the city, coaching your team?
Did your homework, huh? It's great, man. And anytime I have an opportunity to coach in my home state, it's a treat. And you know, the bad thing about it is I have a whole lot of family in Atlanta, so everyone wants tickets. That's not gonna happen. But it's great to be able to come back to my home state, to be able to coach a team, to be able to be a head coach. Coaching in my home state is fabulous.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience?
Coach Sims, I know we got this game directly in front of us, but the last few years in the MEAC, North Carolina A&T has kind of just been the team to beat. Does that make it more, I don't want to say more motivating, but what is it like when there's one team that's in front of everybody for, you know, years in a row?
I'm not going to even answer the question the way I want to answer it, but they're the lead dog right now, and you have to respect that. They have won the football games. They have been, you know, in the big game a number of times, and everyone's chasing them right now. The thing that I'm not going to do, and I want to allow our program to do, we're not going to look past Jackson State. That's the only game that's been on our docket since we started spring ball. And that's it. That's the team that we're preparing for. We're not worried about, you know, Morgan. We're not worried about A&T. We're not worried about any of those folks right now. We're taking it one game at a time. And I think when I talked about finishing, that was our issue last year. We were already in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl, and we had Howard in front of us. And that's a dangerous thing to have happen to your program. So we're taking them one at a time, and we're focused on Jackson State now. That's the task at hand, and that's the business that we have to take care of at this moment.
Coach, question for both of you all. How do you keep your guys focused from all of the media coverage that's coming out about you all? You, Coach Sims, it's a lot of high expectations. Will you be able to claim that top spot? And for you, Coach Hendricks, it's just a matter of, are you guys going to rebuild? Will you become the Jackson State that you guys once were before? How do you keep your guys focused and not worried about what's being portrayed in the media?
I think, you know, with us, when you look at a football team, you have to look at the staff first, and I tell my staff every day, they will go as we go. So we're not going to focus on the hype. We kind of keep everything corralled in our field house, around our team. Social media is going to be out there. The guys are going to be able to read stuff, but we talk to our guys about not being concerned about things that we can't control. So we can't control people ranking us or putting us wherever. That's just what that is, a ranking. If the rankings were a true picture, you wouldn't have to play football. You know, so I'm not focused on that, and I don't think our football team is focused on that. We're not even buying into what people are saying that we should be, we're supposed to be. We are who we are, we know who we are, and we're going to go out and let the game decide, you know, what we are or who we are at the end of the season.
You know, I'm an in-the-moment guy, and I'm surrounded by a lot of good men who are good role models, and good husbands and good fathers, and we're in the process of training our guys to be what they're supposed to be, you know, setting the culture of our program. And our culture is based on what's happening right now, what's happening right here. And every day I talk to them about being the best them they can be. Because if each of those guys concentrate on being the best them they can be, the outside stuff and the outside noise and clatter doesn't matter. So we're going to concentrate on us every day, and we're going to take it one play at a time in practice, and we'll take it one play at a time in the game. And that's what we concentrate on, being the best individual we can be so we can be the best team that we can be. So that's our main focus.
Coach, the last time your two teams met was in 1989. So this year will be 30 years since Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman have met on the gridiron. Currently, out of the times that you have met, Jackson State has an advantage of 4-2 in the matchup. What does that mean for you when you look at it, both of you as coaches, when you look at the history that's involved in this, and the fact that it's been 30 years since your two respective universities have met together? What does it mean to you, especially on this stage this year?
Well, it means a lot to me because that's the year I graduated from high school. So I did not know all of that information, and it's great to know. I'll definitely take that back, you know, to my team and discuss that with them. But it's something I think you have two universities to be able to, you know, compete against a university like Jackson State. You look at all the rich history. You look at the things that have been accomplished there, and you know, to have an opportunity to step on a stage and have a program like that, you know, I think is something that can't have a price tag put on it. It can't be matched.
Well, it's, you know, Coach Sims, someone said he knows the SWAC, but I know the MEAC too. I don't know really. My first job in coaching was in the MEAC at Delaware State, my first full-time job. Then I was the defensive coordinator at South Carolina State, so I had an opportunity to play against them a couple of times. And, I understand their history, I understand our history, and to have an opportunity to be in a game like that is something I think that we'll cherish, and that's something that we'll really get ready for, because you know, it's just a challenge of playing somebody who you know is really good. You know, I've coached against Bethune. The last time I was in the SWAC MEAC Challenge, I was at Alabama State at the time, and so I understand the magnitude of this game and the magnitude of playing a program like theirs, and we're looking forward to that.
Coach Hendrick, we deal with a lot of young fans online, and you know, they don't know history as well as older fans, obviously. What would it mean for Jackson State in your community, and even broader, if you guys were able to go on a run, start, you know, contending and winning championships, and be able to tap into that rich history from the 60s and 70s and 80s when Jackson State was so dominant?
Don't forget the 90s.
90s.
And the things they've done in the 2000s. Don't forget those things. So, it's big. Jackson State doing good, big for the city of Jackson. And so we're trying to build on that legacy and that heritage that was left to us by the people who came before us. You know, the Coach Gordons and Coach Hughes and other coaches that coached at Jackson State who have had success in the program, Coach Comedy. And it's big for us to get it going again, and it's important for us to get it going again, you know, for the university and for the city of Jackson.
Kenneth Green, Jackson State University, alumni president, suburban Georgia. Just want to say, Coach Hendrick, what does it mean for you for the alumni base in Georgia to come out and represent your great university?
Well, it means a lot for us. You know, I'm expecting to have a home field advantage over you know, Jackson State people usually come to the game. So I'm expecting them to be there next Sunday in Mass. And the people from Georgia and from all the other places that will come in and tailgate and enjoy the festivities of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. I almost said SWAC MEAC Challenge, but the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the pageantry. I'm looking forward to the atmosphere. I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere next Sunday, and I'm really, really, really excited about it.
Like, you're not saying anything wrong. I say it's the same every time. SWAC MEAC Challenge.
I have one final question. Coach, you guys are on the, what I'll call it, the front line about their recruiting and talking to, you know, young athletes who are trying to make a decision on where they want to go. What are you seeing and what are you hearing as it relates to how HBCU college football, especially in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference and the Southwestern Athletic Conference, what are you hearing from young people as they're making their decisions, and what are you able to communicate to them to help them decide to attend your respective institution?
Well, I think exposure is one. And the more exposure that you're able to offer young people, you're going to grab their attention. Playing on TV, having your information out on social media daily, that's something that this generation is into. You know, so if you're able to offer those things to a young man, he's going to definitely take a good hard look at you. And I think the next thing that we always talk to our guys about when we recruit, go somewhere where you want it, not where you're going to be tolerated. If you take that step and go somewhere, if they tolerate you during recruiting, they're going to tolerate you your whole career. So go somewhere you want it, make a decision on your school based on the people, not the buildings. Because those are the people that are going to touch your life. Those are the people that are going to help you grow. And that's something that we have talked about in our program for years. We build men. That's what we do. And having an opportunity to give that message and give young men an opportunity to grow athletically and academically, I think it's a great situation. I think the young men, not just in Atlanta, but we have a large recruiting base here, they're buying into it because they want to play and they want to get an education.
Well, you know, the answer to that question is, as Coach Sims says, to be visible is important. This year was the first year that I've been at Jackson State. This is my fourth, that we actually beat a majority school or two on kids. You know, they decided to come to Jackson State, and instead of going, and I think it's because of the men who are in the program who are recruiting them. I mean, I've got good men around me, and they built great relationships with kids. They're not only that, they're great coaches. It's about opportunity for them also. They, you know, every kid has a dream of playing in the NFL. It doesn't matter where he's from or who he is, that's his dream. And I tell them when they come into Jackson State, you know, there's 3 pro days in the state of Mississippi. 4 rather. Mississippi State has one, Ole Miss has one, Southern Miss has one, and Jackson State has one. So the pro scouts are going to see them just as much at Jackson State as they would at Mississippi State because they come to us. They've been in our practices already in fall camp. And so if that's your dream, there's opportunity. But what we try to impress upon them is that, you know, it's not, I want you to have your dream, but come here and get an education too, because that's going to be the key that unlocks the door to your future. You know, if you have the chance to play in the NFL, that's great. Line up, as they say in Louisiana. And but what we do is we try to pour into them and turn them into men that are going to be good husbands and good fathers and good men in the community that are going to give back and try to make a difference in other kids' lives and keep passing it on. And so that's what we try to impress upon them. And it's been working. Like I said, we've had an opportunity to gather some good talent. And hopefully we'll put them in good position to win a lot of football games for us.
Any other questions?
I have one more, just for Coach Sims. Ontario Johnson, coming from East Mississippi Community College, you know, they're big on last chance youth. How's he ingratiated himself into your program and how he fit alongside that defensive front?
Ontario is an exceptional young man. number one. You know, he's a leader. He's a natural leader. He's a football player. You know, and that was the first thing that he said to me when we were recruiting him. He said, "Coach, I gotta get my degree." He said, "I have to have my degree before I go back home to my mom," and that was important to him. But you know, the athletic side, the football side, I mean, he can do that. Everyone has known that since he entered junior college. He can play the game. He can play linebacker. He can play rush in. He can play whatever you want him to play. And he has come in. He's learned our defense. He's gelled with the guys on our defense, and he'll see a whole lot of playing time on next Sunday.
Any other questions? Well, we would like to thank both the head coaches, Coach Terry and Lynn Thompson, here at the podium. Just to start off, the same question that was asked to the coaches, your excitement about having the institutions participate in the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Very excited, very excited, very excited for Jackson State University, very excited for our conference. I think our fans and our alumni are very supportive. We expect a big crowd on Sunday, and everything that we do is about the experience for our student athletes. So very excited about the experience for them, very excited about the direction our conference is going in, and very excited about the SWAC MEAC Challenge.
I concur. Anytime you get a stage like this to talk about the relevance of our institutions, athletically, academically, socially, we need to take full advantage of these 4 hours of infomercials on our institutions. And I think that the coaches did a phenomenal job of talking about their respective programs. And I think that there could be nothing better than a platform like this to showcase the relevance of our institutions and the opportunities that they afford the young people in football, in band, in the academies that we certainly offer. And it's high time that for 15 years, ESPN has put this platform on, and I pray that for 15 more years we're able to stand up here, both you and I actually representing our leagues and providing opportunities for young people from across the nation and beyond to come and participate in events like this.
We've talked a lot about the football aspect, but of course, as Director John Grant mentioned, the Battle of the Bands will take place as well. Both Paducah University and Jackson State have been top dogs when it comes to the halftime shows, the stand battles, etc. What do you guys think? What do you anticipate happening?
I think it's going to be a good show, really good show. As you know, the Sun Room of the South, one of the best bands in the country. Halftime show, as they call it, fifth quarter, will be very exciting. I think a lot of our fans and for our conference and our alumni come out to see the band as well. So it's going to be a really good show. Dome Cookman has a great band as well. A lot of people are excited about the band coming out. And I think that's a big piece to our classic, a big piece to our culture, a big piece of our history of the conference, both conferences.
You know, we're at a disadvantage. We're just a little old church school. and it's a Sunday. So our band is going to be limited to gospel music. Many of our fans are going to be still in church, and so we don't know if the preacher's going to let them come out to the game. So we got to be nice. We've already told Coach Sims that we got to play with great sportsmanship. So we really don't know what to expect because it's Sunday. So, some of my kids, you don't know if they're going to be there or not. Usher board, they may have to serve. You just don't know. Pray for us. We will be taking offerings.
I have one. This is for Mr. Robinson. You have 4 games on ESPN this year, and that's a huge thing to have for HBCU program? How big is that for you to just showcase your products?
Very big. Actually, we have 6.
Okay.
And that shows the job, the direction our conference is going. Our commissioner, as you heard him spoke today, the vision that he has for the conference. And I'm not just talking from an athletic director or vice president, I'm talking from a student athlete experience as well. I'm a product of the SWAC. And just to see the direction we're going in, that shows some of the work that he has done in the short time he's been a part of the conference. So that's big, and that comes from our conference office, comes from our leadership. And we're very excited about that. And that shows you the direction that the SWAC is going in.
Mr. Thompson, you guys do a really great job with the Cat-Eye network and the graphics you guys put out. Like, everything visually is so sharp. You guys, the band had their own show on Netflix. When you just look at those type of things, I mean, Coach Sims kind of talked about it a little bit. Have you been able to see traction, and has that made a difference in your programs being out there digitally so far? Yeah.
Yes, it has. It's branding. And in this day and age, you got to be relevant. You know, and our kids now, they have to be enticed, and everything is here, you know. And I got to give credit to that lady in the back. Everybody turn around and see that young lady back there in the back. That's Jasmine Austin. Jasmine Austin is one of the major reasons that we are so attractive to the media. She's our director of new media. She's a very vital part of our Cat-Eye network. And you got to be a full production house in order for us to really be relevant and to be attracted to the networks, and that is important. And I concur with what you said about Charles. The conference office has grown in leaps and bounds, and everybody is noticing that. And I want to just tip my hat to him. I say it to him every time I see him. I know you're getting tired of hearing it, but it's the truth. And our conferences have done a wonderful job in partnership with ESPN and John and what you're doing. But in order for us to compete on a Division I level, we've got to be Division I. And that is what we have done. And so all of us have to do this in order to maintain our relevance, to attract the student athletes in the band programs, athletically, and even in the academies.
I'm curious, just as a quick follow-up, was it a hard process? Because for so long, our schools were just ignored by TV. We were, kind of just happy to have our box score in the paper for some of us. Was that a process getting to that level?
For me, it wasn't. But we had the hardest battles we had to fight on our own campuses. We had to change some cultures and some mindsets. And once we did, then everyone understood that. But now it's second nature. And believe it or not, it was so easy because the technology was already in our athletic departments. We started by using the football video equipment, and it's already on the campuses. The ingenuity is there in the students already. And so we challenge them. If you find a kid's passion, you plug into it and you encourage it, it's amazing what they'll do.
Any other questions from the media?
I have one to you guys. Talk a little bit about the impact that televised games and televised athletics, because you have more than on ESPN and other networks than just football. We'll talk about that and how sports is a gateway, or I call it the streetscape to your university. And what have you seen as the impact of that?
Well, athletics is the front porch of the university. But we are merely ambassadors of the university. We are not the prima donnas, like most folks may say we are. We are simply the ambassadors. Case in point, nowhere else could we take a cheerleader who said, I really am a mass comm major and I really want to be a sports reporter. And we said, okay, then take this microphone, write this story, and then produce these games on the radio. And 7 years later, we got person standing to my right hosting this press conference. Can I get an amen on that? So it can happen. Proof is in the pudding right there. It is amazing. And I would challenge every other school in the MEAC and the SWAC to do the same thing. Now, I got to say this because our Associate Commissioner, MEAC, is sitting right there. Our producer of the Cat Eye Network now is the Director of Digital Media and Broadcast for the MEAC. And so our Cat Eye Network Director will next week become the Director of those same properties for the MEAC. And we've got to reinvent ourselves. But my father gave me a challenge several years ago. Son, you're either going to be a fruit grower or a fruit picker. So we decided to grow fruit. So we're going to grow some more fruit. And that's what we have to all do. We just got to grow fruit.
I concur. Like A.D. Thompson has said, athletics is the front porch to your program. And I always say any athletic program that's doing well that helps grow the institution. And I think that's what it's all about. It's not all about athletics. It's not all about winning games. It's about growing young men and young women, and also growing the university and the jobs that we do. If you see a good athletic program, you'll see enrollment very, very high. A lot of people want to be a part of athletics, you know, from a fan standpoint, from an academic standpoint, but athletics is a totally big deal. Any university that has a great athletic department, you will see that university grow. And as you look at some of our schools in both conferences, as you saw athletics grow, you saw the institution grow, and you saw the culture change. And that's some of the things that we have to do to make sure that we assist with that enrollment and assist with growing the institution. And for us, it's about growing our institutions. Yeah, we want to win ball games, of course. That's what we do. But in order to win ball games, it comes that structured organization piece, to where we get those students and those coaches and give them what they need to be accessible from an accountability standpoint to grow the institutions. And once you put that in place, that speaks volumes of the institution. You'll win ball games, you'll win championships, and also the enrollment will grow, and the universities will grow.
John, you presented us a couple years ago a study on the enrollment data for the Celebration Bowl participants. I would venture to guess that probably if the same study was done on this game, you would also see the same spike in enrollment on the two respective institutions who play in this game as well. The visibility is immeasurable. It's invaluable to us. And that's why we are so appreciative of this opportunity. This is our fourth one. And if we're afforded a fifth opportunity, we're going to say yeah. And we're much obliged. We do our best share and best opportunity to make ourselves available to be on this stage as many times as we possibly can be.
I'm happy to hear you say that because your phone's gonna be ringing for future opportunities.